All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Son of a Boy Dad podcast. Today we are joined by KFC and Feits.
I'm nervous to be here.
Why?
Dude, I'm always nervous to go on other shows because I always feel like I'm going to be, particularly with you guys and with Anus, I'm like, I'm going to be the butt of the joke.
Well, Anus is more, we don't really do that.
When he asked me, I was like, do you guys do what Anus does? Because when I went on Anus's podcast, it was a disaster.
When I went on Anus last time, they're like, just sit here and don't say anything. Yep. And I just sat there in front of the camera. I was like right in front of the camera, almost like a. It was like, remember when I think it was like maybe it was during the Queen or maybe when the Pope died and the bird just sat in front of the camera. And it was just me sitting in front of the camera while they just talked behind me.
Yeah. And that's not you being a guest on their show. That's you being like a subject of their prodding and like fucking
that
surgery.
Was just like we're like abusive teenagers and we're just gonna bully you around.
That is hilarious. Just have you on and just not speak once.
As they
I wasn't even
dissect
sitting with them. I was just like, I just sat there in front of the camera and just stared at it.
That's hilarious.
KB fucking roasted me and Nick was like, I'm sorry, I didn't know he was gonna do this.
That's a lie. That's definitely a lie.
That's what
he
knew exactly what was gonna happen.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah, the one they did with Compton was so funny, where they did their news thing, and then all the news jokes just ended up being like ricochet shots at Bill Compton.
Same exact thing.
Yeah.
Same exact thing.
Everybody says they're so nice. Dude.
Made me read one.
That's hilarious. Was that the whole episode?
That was like 15 minutes.
That's hilarious.
It was so. I was like, "What was you guys want me to do? What?" Like, just sit there.
Do you remember the one he made me read? Nick made me read one of his headlines, and it read like a PFT tweet, like one of those NFL tweets that's like every word is a pun.
Yeah.
But it like called you gay and made fun of me for being divorced, like all in one headline.
Yeah.
That's not us. That's we prepare absolutely nothing.
That's how we roll.
Yeah,
that's how
we
roll.
just empty out our brains and just fucking just let it rip a little bit.
No, we had a trip down memory lane our last podcast talking about when Saturdays Are for the Boys blew up, and we were talking. There was a period of time where we were talking about changing the name to For the Boys, and we ended up not doing it. But we were talking about if we did, would we have changed the show, and would it have been different, and like would it have exploded? And we were like, nah, because we would have. I was like, we would do what we always do. We would do something different for 2 episodes, and then we would go right back to it.
Yeah.
That's talking.
We try to plan segments. We try to come up with names. We try to do blah blah blah, and then we just always end up just.
I think there is a point where people can tell when you're trying too hard, though. When you're trying to do too much shit, and it's just like not trying too hard for a lot of conversations. I think that's what some people like about Son of a Boy Dad is like. You don't have to think when you're listening. It's so dumb. You can just turn your fucking brain off.
It is also when people use the word interview. I'm like, these are just conversations.
Yeah. I'm the same way with that. I feel like there's like a weird amount of pressure at Barstool to have your podcast has to have like a format and like a subject that you cover. And it's like when we were coming up with this, I was like, we're just gonna talk. I was like, there's not gonna be anything.
Well, that actually is. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
In the business side of things, it's kind of sometimes it's a negative
with sales.
Sales is like when you cover hockey, when you cover golf, when you cover
you need a segment to sell, like you put a
they
price tag
don't tell you that until they're blue in the face, and then you fucking be like, I started segments. And
they don't fucking sell.
They don't sell.
Yeah. But when
we just stopped doing that too.
I love when they're like, what is your podcast about? I'm like, we're the only place in the world that podcasts are about something.
Yeah, exactly.
Everywhere else is just like comedians and entertainers and funny people just pressing record.
Yeah.
But it's got to be about something.
What's your guys' description of what yours is about? Like, what do you say when it goes out to press and shit like that?
I think we usually just say like the voicemails. We just say like.
I think we probably steal what Barstool used to be about, and it is to an extent still, where it was like. I think Dave used to always say it's still my favorite like description of Barstool as a whole, where it's just what you and your buddies talk about on a Barstool. Yeah. Sometimes it's sports, sometimes it's chicks, sometimes it's social fucking celebrities, sometimes it's current events. Like it's just I don't know. Like I don't know if that's what we say to people.
A little bit of TV, like an entertainment and shit, but like I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know the answer to that question. I don't know what our description is on Spotify. I don't know what our pitch is from sales. I couldn't even tell you. It's crazy, but it's true.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
No, I mean, it makes sense because I'm with you. Like any podcast that I listen to that's not Barstool, there's no
rhyme or
topics.
Reason. Yeah.
It's just people talking.
Right.
Even like Joe, what would like Joe Rogan say?
Right. It's like he doesn't have a a thing.
Yeah.
You know? But I mean, I also understand it does make it easier, I guess, to like do business, but it's also like it is. I don't know, man.
It is so depressing though. Like when you know your podcast about nothing and you know it's just like on in the background. And you walk out and you're like, man, I fucking was funny in there. And it's like, someone's going to be half listening while they fill out.
Oh,
Excel
yeah.
spreadsheets.
Like 30%
like, that was
of
such
what you
a waste
said.
of everything.
Yeah. Falling asleep.
Dude, I fucking crushed that joke.
Yeah.
One person tweets out, like, oh, that was funny. Like,
You say
one
some
person
shit.
heard it.
Yeah.
That makes it hilarious. If one person went out of their way to tell you it, you said something truly transcendent.
You say something funny on like the hour, like 3:25 mark of a podcast.
Yeah.
That's down the drain. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever, I rarely listen to a full episode of a podcast unless I'm like driving somewhere that's like a long drive.
Right.
I don't think I've ever listened to a full episode of a podcast. I don't listen to podcasts.
You know what I have? I've been listening to the Always Sunny one a lot. Recently.
That's actually a good example.
Yeah.
I have listened to probably 3 full episodes of that.
You watched the Danny DeVito one? It came out like 2 days ago.
I saw the one today.
The montage of him eating
is so funny. Yeah, that was cracking me up. Yeah, he eats on camera constantly.
Which I also love. Everybody complains about eating on a podcast, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Fuck you guys. We record during lunchtime. I'm on.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito's eating on cameras. Oh my.
I saw the clip of him talking about before he became an actor, he went to beauty school.
Yeah.
And he was a beautician.
What?
And like
DeVito did?
He was a hairdresser.
He was a hairdresser. And like
how could he even like physically do it?
Step stool, yeah.
Standing on phone books and shit.
That's fucked.
His like, I got to get out of this moment was one of his clients died and his family was like, can you do her hair in the coffin? And he's like, fuck man.
Yeah. He was like the last person to see her before like the funeral.
Yo.
So he did it?
He did it.
He cut her dead hair?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And apparently like the person that like preps the body usually does that, but the family like strictly requested him.
Oh, because he was
they were like, we want him to do the hair.
Dude.
How long was he doing it? Was he really good at it? Yeah, he must have been great at it.
It was something with like his sister like owned a barber shop or something. He was like working for her. Yeah.
If I die, I hope Fleischman cuts my hair when I'm dead. I want some punk ass funeral director doing my hair.
I want to go opposite with it. Like I think I wouldn't want to look nice.
Well, don't worry, you won't. But
like, you know how people like
close your eyes and think about Feidelberg's dead body. His alive body is a disaster. What's his dead body gonna look like?
But like, what if like we were kind of talking about this with like ugly sweaters. Like I fucking hate ugly sweaters. I think they're so like old news. Where I was like, next Christmas let's just make nice sweaters. And I think I like would zig when everyone zags. I think like just put me in the fucking coffin like naked. Like put me in the coffin like with a
casket with your little dude with your brown little cock out.
You got a brown cock?
No, it's the Banshees of Inisherin.
Dude, if you haven't seen Banshees of Inisherin,
it's fucking
very funny.
Unbelievable.
This guy's making fun of his dad who's passed out drunk, and he's just sitting there with his tiny little brown cock.
But the like I don't know, like what I think I would like to have. I'd be in a coffin. It would be an open casket, but it would be a closed casket. Like you have to open it every surprise.
Yeah.
Like it's like a surprise.
Just have a sign that says "Open for a surprise."
Open
naked.
Like I want it would be closed, just like a Jack in the Box kind of dead Jack in the Box.
If they can taxidermy like a full animal, they must be able to taxidermy you hard. They must be able to get you at your best.
With the Puerto Rican gangsters when they like prop them up at a card table. Interviewing,
or they go out to the club one more time.
You'll just be naked in your bed with like a pint of ice cream, and we'll give you a little hard on.
A little chub though. Not full hard, not a pervert.
Yo, we just learned yesterday.
I was just gonna bring this up. I'm glad you did.
Bella Danger came back through the greatest like porn star content creator in the world. Did you know that male porn stars have straight up mechanical dicks?
What the fuck do you mean?
Like implants?
Yeah.
You
do that?
I heard that in a podcast somewhere.
She said that this one guy specifically, and that there's multiple guys who do it.
And if I don't want to speak for both of you. I forgot. I don't know his name, but if you saw him, you'd be like, I know that guy.
Yeah, I think
he's a familiar guy.
He's a prolifig performer.
It really is like there's like 3 dudes in porn.
Yeah. Right.
That's why
they're fucking.
It's funny when you ask like a girl in porn, how many dudes have you fucked? Not how many times, how many dudes? It's like 10. Yeah. And you ask a guy how many girls have you fucked? It's like a billion because there's only like 10 guys who do it because they do crazy shit for their fucking performance. They use injections to get their dick to stay hard, right? And this guy used the injections so much he like killed his dick. So then they gave him this implant where you have like a rod and kind of like a it's like hollow, I think, and that can fill up with saline that comes from a pump that you put in your balls. So you squeeze your balls. It's a pump on the inside of your sack. I don't know if they like remove your balls or they just put it in there with your balls. You squeeze it like
a pump-up sneaker?
Thing, like a pump, like a Reebok pump, and it fills up the implant in your dick and it grows you hard.
What?
And get this. So this dude, he had a good dick. His God-given dick was a great dick.
The kind of dick that gets you into porn.
Yeah, he's a porn star.
He injected it so many times, he killed his God-given dick. So he said, I'm getting an implant. The implant was a smaller dick than his God-given dick. No. So he got a third dick, a second surgery to make his implant bigger.
What?
So he's had 3 like dick performance-enhancing dicks, 2 of which were surgically, mechanically fixed.
And Abella was showing us pictures, and like I was like, "Are only like you gonna notice this because like you're a dick expert?" And she's like, "No, like to the layman's eye, you'd be like, oh, that's a completely different dick." Mm-hmm. And it was jarring.
But his
and
so when a dick gets
that, you can really tell the difference. She was like, you can really feel the difference.
Well, because it's a soft dick that's been inflated. It's not like a hard dick. A hard dick is hard from the blood flow and the arousal and like everything.
When you get your dick hard, you're getting it hard from your asshole. You know what I mean? Like your blood's coming all the way up.
Exactly.
It's not just some
it's not from your balls,
from shaft, from base to tip. I'm getting hard from my asshole up.
Yeah, it's from your core.
You can't fake that.
You're fine.
Yeah. At least the dude, when he gets those surgeries, he doesn't have to. I always remember like hearing stories about like when like grown men get like circumcised, and like the biggest worry is like if you get hard, it'll like rip the stitches.
Well, she said
like
that
he doesn't have to worry about that probably if he can't get hard.
That's a good point.
Well, she said he was out of the game for like you have to be you
like
can't use it for like it's like months and months.
I had a buddy who was uncircumcised in high school, and oof, boy, did we bully him merciful.
It's also because everyone in the school knows somehow.
Out of everything, you could be fat, you could be stupid, you could be ugly, whatever. Not being circumcised,
there's
would be
no
like
excuse.
number one.
There's no excuse. There really is no
past
excuse.
the year, like I don't know, 1950 or some shit. No excuse to not have your dick snipped.
It is the most like blatant you can make fun of somebody. Like, you can't really make fun of someone for being fat.
No, you'll get shamed.
Like, that dude's got extra skin on his dick.
Yeah, and everyone's like,
you put the hood up, and you're like, Call him a Conestoga wagon, dude. Like,
sex feels better for him.
Look at
this loser.
I remember.
He's having way more fun with sex.
Bro, my boy
never believe that shit though.
Dude,
I feel like that was
they say you like cut off like all the nerve
because they fucking have ugly dicks. It's like when people tell you that if you get shit on by a bird, it's good luck. You got to say that because you're covered in bird shit. You tell me that you have better sex. Okay, the other 99% of your life you're getting made fun of for your ugly dick.
And also, sex feels good enough.
Yeah,
sex feels good enough.
If I felt better, I'd be in trouble.
People are sex crazed. Imagine how uncircumcised guys are. They're probably starting world wars, dude, with their fucking.
I do remember Jessa Rhodes saying, and this made sense. She was like, "Uncircumcised is better for anal." And
I saw Nikki Ben say that recently on fucking Pillow Talk.
You're just kind of fucking like your own skin, kind of. You know what I mean? Like
you're just unsheathing a sword. No one gets stabbed.
You put the sheath in one time in the ass.
Wait, uncircumcised guys are just fucking themselves the entire time. They don't even fuck girls. They're just fucking their own foreskin.
Your own dick. You were just fucking your own dick if you're uncircumcised.
Yo,
that is crazy, right?
But my buddy in high school, he like because we body shamed him so much, and we're still friends.
He was on a sports team. You saw his dick, or you just heard word of mouth?
No. We played football together.
And when they're like totally soft, they're really weird.
Oh, horrible.
Yeah, when they get like closed off, it's like
yeah, it is.
It looks like a belly button on the front.
Do you get your umbilical snipped? The fucking but he would. He first of all, two repulsive things. Well, not repulsive, one regular. He would say that he's like, you guys are so stupid. Like you have to have cleanup when you fucking jerk off. And we were like,
this is really disgusting. Brace yourselves.
We were like, what does that mean? What do you do?
This is disgusting. I don't even know if Son of a Boy does.
I feel like I feel like I already get where it's going.
When he came, he'd just fucking
seal off the tip.
He'd sheath it up. He'd pinch it off, and then we made him draw us a diagram of how this worked, like a balloon. and then he would walk over to because we were in high school, but we went to a boarding school, and he would walk over in his dorm to his trash barrel and just dump it out.
That is disgusting.
That is so vile.
like in fucking like a movie when you ever see like a plane dump water on a fire.
Yeah.
Was it like squeezing out a Go-Gurt, or was it like
yeah?
Or,
Dude,
or was it just like you could just open up a hatch?
Just like squeezing a Go-Gurt.
You'd have to like kind of fish it down.
That's something that you have to know from the first time you do it. Like, this is not normal. That's like shitting and like tightening your ass cheeks and just having the shit in your ass and just walking.
You idiots are wiping your ass
and spreading your ass cheeks.
Ask this guy how he jerked off the first time he jerked off.
Oh God!
Because that's a fucking.
I just did, and look, to your credit, I was like, this can't be right.
Yeah.
But I fucking did it. I had my legs back and I was jerking off like this, and I was on my bathroom.
You give yourself a reach around.
I was on my bathroom floor and I was like, there's no way this is right. I gotta do a little more.
Go back
research.
To the drawing board.
Yeah, come back
bunch
and
of sketches. No, that's not it.
I remember I was also like fucking. When I first jerked off, I was like shooting blanks.
Yeah,
because I was just like 12. I hit puberty late, and I don't know. I was probably younger than 12, and I was just like, I had friends talking about like coming, and I was like, I must be doing it wrong.
I think everyone. I think also your friends were probably lying about coming. Yeah.
But I hit puberty late, so like they definitely were coming before me. But I was like, maybe like if I fucking have to piss, like, so I would like wait till I had to pee,
yeah,
and then I would run to jerk off
and try to harness both streams simultaneously.
I was like, that must be where the coming store.
That's some Ghostbusters shit. Don't let the streams cross, bro. Yeah. If it's coming out at the same time, you got a problem.
A little filler. There's a little bit of filler to fluff up your load.
I'm gonna come. Like, damn, I just got piss again.
Yeah.
But all this was to say that my buddy was gonna get the surgery because we accosted him so much. Circumcision, yeah. And then he learned like he was gonna have to go on like estrogen pills so he couldn't get hard.
Because if you just pop a random boner, you're
right. Like, not every boner is a welcome thing.
Maybe they should just give you the surgery while you're hard so that the stitches will not.
That makes sense, actually.
Right? That's the same thing I think about when you get your dick tattooed. You get it when you're hard.
People get their dicks tattooed?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Because I think they do it so that like it's a thing when it grows.
It expands.
It's like
an optical illusion.
Yeah, it's like one of those. It's like a little puppy
page
dog
of a
when
magazine.
It expands, yeah.
That's got to be just instant regret.
Oh yeah. Oh, big time.
The first time you get hard after.
Not even.
Like, this is not nearly as cool as I thought it was going to be.
I can't even imagine going through the minute that your dick's on the table and it's like, zzz, I'd be like, never mind. I'd end up with just like a little dot.
I'm actually, I'm of the weird. I don't think it's weird. I think it's pretty common actually. Like I like getting tattoos. Not the.
A lot of people do. A lot of people enjoy the process of it. I think Nick always talks about that.
Not even the feeling. Not like the creative process. Just like the. Like it is like the best.
He's so fucked up, man. He's so fucked up.
This is Rudy described it this way, and I thought it was like perfect. Where it's like the best scratch you'll ever get in your life because it's like subcutaneous. Like you're getting scratched at a level you never know. Yeah. And I've seen like I've gotten a tattoo with Nate before. Nate looks like he's gonna pass out. Nate
that would be me honestly.
It is but I like
you.
No, I have no.
Do you like to get beat up in the bedroom or like hot wax poured on you or like
I've never done it. Like I don't think so. I don't like being slapped. I know that.
Yeah.
I got slapped once. I was like, don't ever do that again.
I'm with that, man. Yeah. I'm like, I am gonna do that to you a lot, but if you do it to me one more time, I'm punching you. We're gonna have a problem.
It was like saw red. I was like, what the fuck was that?
Square up.
Yeah.
Put your clothes on.
Right now. Stand
up. But I've never done like a wax or anything like that, so I can't really answer that. I just like I learned that at a young age. Where like I was like a child still, and they're like, turn away when you're getting like shots, and I was like, no, I like it, watch, and I like to watch the needle go in. And that kind of shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't mind any of that stuff, but I can't watch. I had to get a biopsy on like Monday, and they I could not watch for the life of me.
Well, that's also, they got to like chop some
and
shit
I had
out,
my
right?
eyes closed, and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't want to see you digging into my skin."
Yeah. One of those weirdos.
Yeah, I'm one of
But he
those
said
that
it was
doesn't-
one stitch though.
Dude, I was being such a bitch
I mean,
about it.
that's pretty bad.
And I was like, dude, no, because I didn't even see the stitches. She put the Band-Aid on, and I got up and I left. And the whole day I was like, dude, there's a fucking hole in my chest. And then I
then you
went
look
home.
at it and it's like,
dude, I got
it's
in
like
the
a
shower.
little bow.
No, literally, no, I got in the shower the next morning. It's literally the size of a freckle. And like smaller. It's like the size of like this freckle on my hand right here. And I'm walking around being like, dude, there's a fucking gaping hole in
I'm
my
like
chest.
50 Cent when he got shot.
Yeah.
I got an exit.
Yeah. I was like, I like bought shit to like clean the stitches. And I got home and I was like, dude, like I could pour like dirt on this and it wouldn't get infected. I could put shit on this stitch and nothing would happen.
Dude, I gave blood recently, like blood work, and the nurse. First of all, I think nursing. I think they had a good run during the pandemic. I think we got to take it down a notch with how much we love nursing.
How much credit we're giving.
I've been in the same exact camp as you.
Teachers and nurses, we're done.
Especially in the
fucking
city,
done.
a lot of the nurses are really dumb.
They're bad, and they're bad people.
They're bad people.
They're bad people.
Dude,
and they're
they
dumb.
love the flex of power.
Yeah.
They love the
They're
like a little bit of power they have over you.
Like teachers are the same way too.
Yeah.
All right, relax.
You're all sluts.
That's what I was also getting at, but I didn't say they're all sluts.
They're all fucking whores.
Dude, you ever had wild sex? That was with a teacher or a nurse for sure.
No doubt.
But the fucking nurse. First of all, they came in and like they got to me. It was two nurses together to take blood, which seemed unnecessary. And then they were just carrying on a conversation while standing over me. Like it did not pertain to me at all. It wasn't. They're trying to figure out how to attack this vein. They were just like talking talking shit about another nurse. As nurses do.
Of course.
That's all they do. That's all they talk about all day.
Nonstop.
Totally.
And I was like, however long you think it went on way longer. like we're talking multiple minutes of them hadn't even acknowledged me in the room yet.
Yeah.
I can tell you who they're talking about. They're talking about the one nurse that wound up fucking one of the surgeons.
Doctors.
Yeah. And now he's married, and they have a weird workplace dynamic.
And deep down, they're just mad they didn't do it.
Exactly.
They had their chance, and they didn't because of
wanted
morals.
to.
And now
These were two fat older ladies who like we let our prime pass us by. Like we're never getting a doctor anymore.
They should fuck the surgeon.
But then so they go to a vein and like they couldn't. They're like you're all out of juice right now. And I was like, I'm not out of juice. I'm a living person.
Yeah.
Juice in me.
I've had them say that to me too. When I got like the prick in my finger and they were like they had to like squeeze it out. They were like, wow, they're like, when was the last time you drank water?
Yeah.
Yo, I was like probably like a week ago.
They couldn't get blood from me to a point that I was like, am I dead? They were like kind of doing one of those things where they were looking and they were trying to like keep their cool, but they're like calling other people in. They're like, can you come here for a second? And I was like, oh, fuck.
Right?
Yeah, they were basically like, is your heart pumping? Like,
no, that just shows how inept they are, dude. Humans are fucking. It's like there will be blood. There's like fucking oil underneath everywhere you step. There's blood everywhere. Just find the the blood, dude.
You were bruised up like a fucking addict.
Dude, that's the worst.
She didn't take the needle out, but just started moving it around.
Yeah.
Like you're in a Capri Sun looking for the last little bit of juice on the bottom. And I was like, I can feel that, by the way. I couldn't wear a sweatshirt for fucking, I couldn't wear a t-shirt for like over a week.
Yeah, because
it looked like I had a bruise from here to down here.
It's a massive bruise.
It was crazy.
Yeah, no, that bothers me, the feeling it moving in. Otherwise, my favorite thing, Portnoy can't give blood. He passes out when he does that.
That's hilarious.
That's like weirdly not surprising. I could see that.
Yeah, right. But it's one of those things.
Oh,
like
you should have seen fucking Dave when Hank cut off the tip of his thumb.
Oh,
his finger. Yeah, Hank cut off the tip of his finger using a drone.
Tried to catch it with his bare hands.
This is back in Milton, it's probably 8 years ago, maybe. Tried to catch it with his bare hands. He was like fucking flying it down by the water, and he came back to the office. He's like, I just cut my finger off, and we were like, what, dude? And he like shows it, and like the tip of his finger is just hanging by a thread, and not like
it was like
the first knuckle, like the tip from like the top.
But it was like a cap almost.
Yeah,
like,
Was he panicked or what was
Hank was real calm. Hank was real calm. And Dave, there's definitely video of it. And Dave was like, like
you're a freak. Get away from me.
And then he's like, but credit to Dave, he kept trying to look and then kept like almost passing out. And then he had to take Hank to the hospital and sit with him because we didn't have healthcare at the time. So Dave just had to fucking pay for it.
Out of pocket.
The best was Hank's mom's email. Remember that?
Yes.
She was like, I fucking knew you shouldn't have been with him. Like, this is bad news from the start. Now you don't have a finger anymore.
Wait, how'd that email get public though?
I think Hank
Hank's brothers talked about it. I think
was that what it was?
Brother tweeted
I've like seen that email somehow.
Yeah, I think it got put together in like a one of the Dana's videos or something like that. I think it was like relatively recent that it got made public, but it was sent back then.
Yeah.
Of Hank's mom being like, I knew you shouldn't have worked with this guy.
News.
Yeah. And now look at, like Mrs. Lockwood, like Hank would be like dead in the gutter. And instead he's like a suit, It's
yeah,
crazy.
he's a fucking crazy. He's probably rich as fuck. Dude.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and like
Definitely.
become, he was always like a hard worker and like good ideas and shit, but he's become like smart about like the business and shit, which is
he
crazy.
makes good decisions and shit.
Yeah,
It's fucking weird.
There is a weird like portrayal like to the audience. Like people think that he's like really dumb.
Right.
Well, there is
He's a pretty normal dude.
Yeah, no, I guess the thing is,
you're being a little withholding right now.
I think.
I've only known him for like
what does that
3
mean?
years.
I don't even know what that means.
I withholding, not the word I meant to use. But you're being like I feel like you're about to call Hank dumb.
I think he was. The problem is he started working for us as a child.
Yeah, right.
So he was like, it was like he was a dumb kid.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when you start with someone and they make mistakes like that and they say dumb things and they
or you just see all their stupid young habits that they have.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
and
we see less of people's
spell
habits.
words stupid and like just things that are like, oh, you're dumb. And then it's like, yeah, but I'm also just like an 18-year-old kid who's like scared to be at work.
Right.
And then it's like, no, I'm like a 28-year-old guy who like knows what he's doing.
And he says like, calculated hot takes on his shows and shit like that. And he's,
he
like,
also
dumb on
knows
purpose.
to be like I'm sure he could figure out any in any industry or company, but like if you dropped him into like a real fucking network tomorrow, I don't know if he would thrive. But he's like, I know how Barstool works, and I know how we're gonna get views, and I love that he like shuts down any outsiders who come in. Like, all right, we're gonna film it this way, and we're gonna talk about it this way. And he's like, no, we're not. We're gonna do it this way and this way because that's how it works for Barstool.
Yeah, that's way smarter.
So he sticks to his guns, and like that's what
he's very smart in that aspect. I got a question for you guys, and this is like a little bit. It's kind of in the vein that you guys have been going. I don't know what we'll keep it at the beginning of the show, but you guys are talking about how you're leaning into some of the inside Barstool stuff and just like not really like kind of holding back on.
It happened accidentally. But yeah, I guess we kind of have. It would be disingenuous to say we haven't started doing that. It's only been like 2 weeks. I don't want to make a career out of it, but
it's a stressful thing to do, and I don't like doing it. But once the Dave Portnoy show went away, I was like, I think there's like a market to grab some more views, and
that's like what like half of the Barstool fans
I know
want to see.
I and it's like
millions of
and then the other half will be like, well, you still talking about this? Shut the fuck up.
Right.
Who's Rico?
It is a weird thing where it's like, yes, some people are like, oh, I just follow the Instagram, and other people are like, what's Rico's real name?
Yeah.
But
my question is this. So my question is this. You guys talked about it a little bit at the company meeting, but like what's the future of New York at Barstool? I kind of want to hear you guys like talk about it because I know you got to
you guys
give
think you guys were the only ones doing the inside Barstool.
I'm dead serious because I'm dead curious about it, and I think people will be interested. And I'm not sure if you guys have really expounded on it on your show. I know you kind of touched on it at that meeting.
We kind of what kind of happened to start was. I'm gonna let Kevin do most of the explaining, but we basically got like San Francisco Giants. We're like, we were like, all right, we're gonna have a press conference. And then right before the press conference, we're like, is anything final?
Yeah.
And they were like, no.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, it'd be weird to
we would have said a lot more at that meeting, I think, if we knew for sure. I think what's going on, like Dave has moved on to whatever next level Dave said he's going to do. And when Dan leaves here, it kind of leaves the office like rudderless. And I think we're kind of the natural like last guys left to kind of run the show a little bit. But in talking with Erica, we've been like, I'm like, are we doing this for real? Or are we doing this because like we just need New York to look like it's busy? And we need to like have some sort of semblance of a company in this big office. Because if we're going to do it for real, I think I have like a good idea of how to do it internally and externally. And I think there's some changes that I would try to make as far as how we interact with each other and how like the company flows. But I'm also like, I know how this company works at the end of the day. I know that this is Dave's company, and I know Dan's the big star, and it's like and this is a gambling company and all that. But like, if you want to do a New York office that is non-gambling, that is based in comedy and entertainment and podcasting, I think we know what the fuck we're doing when it comes to that. And I think we could really do some very cool shit with a lot of people here who I think are very talented and have been like, I don't know what to do. And I think Barstool's cool because they're like, go, here's the ball and run with it. But I think there's a lot of people who are like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, I think we can help you with that. I think that there are people who are funny who don't even know it. And I'm like, you could be a star if we do it the right way.
I think there are a lot of people who are funny too and have been under the impression that they have to pretend to be gamblers.
Yes,
like, I think we have,
and also do podcasts.
Right.
Yeah. No, honestly, you don't have to do a podcast. As a matter of fact, I would tell you not to do a podcast.
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
very.
I think it's kind of it's kind of a dead medium in a way to start. Unless you're like a superstar, you have your own audience. To build one now is kind of tough. I mean, I think guys like Rudy, I think guys like Tommy are people who are like, you are very funny. And I think you've been in the shadow of a lot of people and working on your own for a lot of times. And like, if we get the right people behind you and the right ideas, you guys could be great. And then there are externally, I think the one thing I've seen from the comedy world is the amount of people, the amount of guys and girls who come in and they're like, I spent my life savings on this YouTube special and it's gotta work.
Yeah.
And then I see it and I'm like, that doesn't look that good. And I got guys here who
not the content, the production.
Yeah, the production value. You put your life savings into this cameraman and this edit and this shot and lighting, and I'm like, that looks like you just put up a fucking tripod at the stand. And
right,
we got guys here.
To do it for you or something like that.
Right. And I'm sure they get, there's some union guys or however that works that jack the price up or whatever you got to do. And they tell you need this, you need that. I could send Nick and Pavs down there and they will make you a special 10 times better than that. And we could do it at a fraction of the cost. So why don't you guys come here and we can help you, do your special. And then we got to, we'll figure out some split of revenue and money and all that kind of stuff. But, we, like everything else, it's like, at Barstool, you get there's a lot of pie in the sky ideas. And it's like, are we really going to do that? Or are we, is that
so what does it take for it to really do that?
I feel like it's gotta be, something from above, like from management being like, yeah, like you got the keys to the castle, go. I'm like, I would imagine.
I don't think it's keys. I think it's more just like budget.
Yeah. I was gonna say a budget, like here's some money to work with. And here is, and some
we've been
freedom.
told that will exist. It's just like we just have to know what the number is.
Yeah, there's been a lot of like, you tell me what you want and I'll go get them. And it's like, well, I need to be able to tell them what kind of ballpark we're working in. And are we talking about a salary or are we talking about a rev share? Are we talking about a one-time payment? Are we, and then also the idea of like, for 20 years now, it's basically every decision has been Dave's decision, And it's like, are we going to be separate enough from that where if Dave says like, I don't like a guy and I say I do like a guy and it's for my section of Barstool, does that actually happen? Or is it like, come on, we know that this is Dave's company.
So you're talking about hiring?
Yeah. Like hiring talent or making a business decision about like, this show is working or isn't working, or we're going to pair these people together or, whatever it may be.
So where do you think that like as like Barstool grows, like where do you think would be like interesting or the best place to get talent from? Because obviously you guys work with a ton of comedians, but then you mentioned guys like Tommy and Rudy who don't necessarily come from like a stand-up or a comedian world or podcasting world before that. Like what do you think the best way to go about talent acquisition going forward is?
That's a great question.
I feel like we know the comedy circuit well, and I feel like you would know too. Like you know the names that start to bubble up. Like this guy is good and this guy deserves it. And
yeah, I think that's a big thing. I mean, obviously going off of what you said about the Dave thing, like him hiring someone that he likes. It's like obviously Dave has created his own little world of characters, which is like, and it works. But also there's a side of people who it's like, I could name 15 people right now who have no platform at all, who go up at the stand and the Cellar and the New York Comedy Club.
Funniest fucking people.
And that's like
single
Dave.
night.
Dave
Dave hates
the
that.
whack pack.
They like the
funny
weirdos.
Like,
I think that so there's a couple things. Dave has always blatantly been like, I don't like stand up.
Yeah.
And right now, stand up is having its like renaissance and it's like glow up where it's like everybody is fucking.
There's a lot of good stand ups. Yeah.
And I think that they are putting out some like the funniest shit out there.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I mean, there's been plenty of times I've gone to Dave with either talking about hiring comics or like I remember when he was like, why would I have Sebastian Maniscalco do a pizza review? And it was the same weekend he sold 100,000 tickets in a weekend at MSG. He had like 5 sold out shows at MSG that weekend. Yeah. And it's pizza and it's Sebastian. It's like, it was like, why would you not do this? So, you know,
can you think of some people that you've like pitched that didn't wind up working out?
We famously got to the 1 yard line with Jesus and Miro back in the day, who I think those guys, they probably ended up doing just fine. I know they just recently split, but I'm sure they made their money. But had they stayed on the internet and not gone the TV route, I think they would have had like a Call Her Daddy type of fucking explosion.
I don't know. I mean, whatever. Who cares? Wasn't like Cumtown in the mix for a minute? Wasn't there talks about hiring them?
I didn't think that was more PFT driven.
Yeah,
I didn't know. It sounds familiar, but that wasn't.
I don't know them as. I didn't know them as well.
I think they got offered a radio show or something like that.
Yeah,
and
that's a perfect example too. Though those guys would have been great. We brought up DeStefano. He passed on. I remember Dave said with DeStefano, like he basically kind of implied like he's just another funny 30-year-old white guy. And we've got a bunch of those. And he was like, we don't need any more of those. And I was like, are you implying to me that we're not going to hire any more of those ever again? That we've reached our limit of just funny white guys?
We've hired exclusively those since that day.
Yeah, I was going to say, we probably
but he doesn't count fat guys as part of that demographic. Fat guys like a whole other demographic.
That is so true. It's a different race.
Stefano wants to go the Rob McElhaney route and fucking just start putting down a gallon of ice cream every morning. Maybe we can talk.
Seriously, if he just showed up fat, like Dave would probably love it.
For real.
He just had like a funny name.
Yeah. If you're fat and retarded, I'll sign you. That one hurt because I remember being like, Chris has really blown up recently, and we probably were talking about getting him right before like the explosion, and it would have been under Barstool's umbrella, and he didn't want to do it. And then I also think the internet, like, you know, we just know internet funny, and I think you see enough like. You know, like I love Danny Lopriori, the let me suck on your titties guy. Like when a video pops like that and you start to give it a look and then you follow their shit and you're like, this is consistently
his podcast is
funny.
Hilarious. And they're like freestyling
and shit like this is like talent, you know, like so there's I think the internet and the stand-up world would be like the two places we would.
And do you think it came down to like our stand-ups like really expensive and shit like that? Obviously not, because
they're not expensive.
Here, you know what I mean? Like,
I think that there's. I would like to.
I think stand-ups make and Sass obviously knows a lot more of this than I do. I would think that stand-ups make a lot more money than I guess once you reach a certain level.
Yeah. I mean, if you're just doing like spots in the city,
you're not making anything.
You're making like it's like what like it's like I think at the Stand it's like $50.
It's insane
for a show.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not leaving the house for $50.
It's like, and it's like $100 for a weekend.
But like you're doing all right now, right? Like
there's people like so then you go on the road and then there's like different door deals you can get with like percentages of tickets, and it also depends on like how long you've been doing comedy.
How good do you have to be to make like $75,000 a year? To have like a
Mook
like,
saying you got to be good as fuck, dude. Mook saying you got to be a fucking you got to be nice.
Right, you got to be like.
I think I like did the math about how much someone like Normand who does like 6 spots a night would make just in New York, and I think it's like maybe like $40,000.
That's crazy.
Really?
For a guy, I mean, like Norman.
But then Norman will go on the road for a weekend and he'll make like $75,000.
Right. So that's where I like when you
get
in
a weekend.
In a weekend.
When you get like passed at a local club and you're not touring yet and you're like just maybe headlining at a local spot in the city, or you have consistent work at the Comedy Store or whatever, the Comedy Cellar, is that like a living wage, or are you you can't really, I don't think you can really make a living wage. And I don't want to like
step out of line because I feel like some people are gonna be like, actually you can, but I think realistically to make like a comfortable living wage, I think
you can afford rent in an apartment.
You would have to be going on the road.
Yeah. Okay.
That's like where like John Mulaney started doing stand up on the road because that's how you make money.
Mm-hmm.
Like but like to get good enough to go on the road, you have to do like the 5 shows a night in New York.
I mean, it is insane what you guys do. I would never commit that much time and effort to anything. Like, okay, you have to go up like 3 times a night, 7 nights a week.
You have to have so much
to do that for a decade.
Right.
And such a lofty goal. It's like a kid who wants to be president. It's like a high fucking aspiration.
I'm gonna do a special. Like,
I'm gonna do so much fucking work. Like, it's so much work.
And the first time I bomb, I'm done. I'm not subjecting myself to that again.
Yeah.
You know?
Silence.
Like get the fuck out of here.
Dude,
like,
that's terrible.
It does sound bad, but then also you start to realize you're like, okay, the worst thing that happened was like maybe like 50 people will leave the show and be like, that one dude, I don't even remember his name. He sucked.
Right.
That's the worst thing that happened.
Yeah,
that's true.
I mean, I still
in the moment, dude. Like,
oh my God.
It's not
dude,
even
I'll go if I'm having a bad set, I'll feel my back, and there's like gallons of sweat pouring.
Bro, every time I hate this guy because he doesn't sweat. Our last like live shows of the year, I finally got over it. But up until then, every live show we did, my hair would be like wet.
Yeah.
And then I also like once I start sweating, I think about sweating, and you know what I mean? Like, And we're fine. The show was fine, you know, but I'm like in my head, I said something and there was silence, and I'm like, oh my God,
it's such an immediate indictment of like who you are and your abilities. It's like people don't think
Instant
I'm
feedback.
good. Like
people
think that I am not funny and I'm trying to be funny.
But I don't even care if it's like it doesn't like silence. Obviously, I don't want that. But it can be raucous laughter. But if I just happen to be looking at one person who didn't laugh,
bro,
me and Mook were talking about this. So Mook comes with me on the road. He hosts for my shows, and dude, you will be like killing a room, like everyone like bent over laughing, and then there'll be like one dude in the front row just being like. And you're like, you want to like get in his face and be like, why are you not laughing?
You know what that is?
What did I say?
You understand the environment you're in, right? You hear everyone else.
Yeah.
But that's like the internet come to life.
Yeah.
You know, you got a bunch of people being like, you're awesome. And the one guy who says you suck dick, you're like, that ruins your day. And that's just happening in front of you.
Like, maybe I do suck dick.
We were in Philly, and we had like 700 people at the Fillmore, I think it was. And I thought it was like our best show to date. And they reserved like 2 seats that they ended up not filling.
Yeah.
And they were right in John's vision.
Yeah.
No, this was at Gramercy Theater, which was sold out.
Okay, Gramercy Theater sold out. And like we leave we finish the show, we leave the stage. I'm like, oh my God. And he was like, fucking, we bombed in front of an empty theater. And I was like, what? I was like, we just killed in front of a full one. What are you talking about? And he was just looking at 2 empty seats.
It was so bad. It got so bad during the show that I was wearing like a flat brim cap, or I was wearing a baseball cap, and I pulled it down so I couldn't see. Dude. Because all I did was I was just focusing on those 2 seats.
Meanwhile, the whole time I was like, this is our best show ever.
Why are you like that?
No, I mean, you know,
I ask myself in the mirror every morning, bro, why are you like this?
Dude, I think that doing live podcasts is scarier than doing stand-up by a lot.
I like utmost respect to everything you guys do because of everything I described, like the work you put in, the writing and crafting it. But then when I realized that we take the stage with material,
nothing. When we did a live show at Laugh Boston with KB and Nick and Roan, and I remember getting up there and we had like a couple things like one-liner jokes to like start the show about Boston. Yeah. When we got up there, and then I remember being like,
what next?
Fuck. I'm like, what the hell are we going to talk about now?
Yeah. We got a pretty good system now, and
and you guys do like the voicemails and stuff.
Right. We have a structure.
You guys have a show.
Yeah.
And we also, for the first time, just like in recent months, learned how to in years past, every single show was completely different, because I was like, we have conversations and you can't like re-have a conversation, but then we kind of learned you can. And we like, not to say that we're like faking it, but it's like, we'll bring up the same topic of conversation and it'll start the same, but then I say something different and he has a different joke about it, or we take a different angle. So it's like, we kind of are redoing it. And then each show grows on the previous one where we're like, last night, you know, this guy in the crowd said this. And so like we figured out how to.
I would do a live show unless it had some kind of built-in structure like that, where it's like the beginning, whatever, 20 minutes going to be this, where we know we're going to touch on this. We're going to have this planned segment.
It's basically like, and I don't mean to be like, oh, it's like stand-up, but like it's like we had said things that were like, oh, that works. They really That's funny.
Yeah, 100%. I do that every weekend. If I find something that like, oh, the Buffalo crowd really like this, I'm going to do this at every single show.
Yeah.
And then it will like kill.
But we've also like we've done it for, so we had like, it's not even like conversations we're rehabbing. It would be like basically like setting each other up for a story where we have like a 4-minute monologue kind of deal.
Yeah.
Dude.
And then like we've been doing those for like a year, so it's probably time to find new ones now.
Right.
So when we go on,
because the first ones we found like it just happened, and I was like, oh, that worked. We weren't like, let's come up with a repeatable thing.
Yeah.
So now we kind of do need to come up, like think about it. And it's like, oh, fuck that. I don't know. But that thought of getting to the point where you have an act has got to be hell. But then once you have it and you know exactly where the laughs are and where the pauses are, and that you know everyone likes it, and you know people are going to buy tickets, and you're like, I could just do this for like a year straight and just make
that does seem sweet.
Because I always ask them, I'm like, why do you guys go to like a fucking Omaha? Like, you still really want to get on a plane and go there and and you know, we're talking about some of the bigger guys. They're like, well, I could just like sit at home, or I could go make like a surgeon's salary
a rack in
you know?
a surgeon's.
That's what he said.
Tom Segura, I can't imagine. I think Tom Segura is going to be the richest man in the world after his tour. He went to like every single club and theater in the world.
What a beast. And that's so impressive.
Dude, apparently like, cause like Bert is like super huge obviously and is making millions of dollars, but apparently Tom is like even like.
I say it all the time. Those guys I think are, if not maybe above or tied, they are like right below Rogan. And everybody talks about Rogan as like this, you know, on his own level.
Yeah, but also Rogan's, I mean, like they do like, they'll do like like those guys will do like arenas and then mix in theaters. Rogan's like strictly arenas, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, even like with the podcast too, like those guys are making money that is on a level that is, I don't think people realize.
Dude,
no, they are.
No, financially, they're on that level.
Oh, yeah. I agree with you that 100%.
They are, like when Bert said, Whitney Cummings asked him, like, if you had one last special to ever promote, and you've got to make sure you promote it like the best, so like where are the 3 places you're going? And the first spot he said was us. I was like,
I saw that.
That was like the crowning achievement of my career.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I still don't even think people understand like what, like the level he's at to say that.
That's fucking dope.
It's like
awesome.
he is. I think because he's very down to earth and it's very, you know,
that
like,
type of show. Yeah,
you don't realize it. Those guys are titans of the game right now.
How much do you think they're walking away from doing one arena show?
I mean, think of it. You know, basically they're doing like $50 tickets, right, or $40 tickets.
Like
and you have
$500,000.
You have like 15,000.
Got to be at least $500,000.
I was gonna say $1 million.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? I learned from like this job in the industry. I learned that to play the Garden costs so much money, and that's why you'll see a lot of acts go to Barclays now, because just to have like the concessions and the security and the whatever else they provide, it's like you have to like put up like $1 million to go to the Garden.
Yeah.
And now you would imagine if you're going to the Garden, you're probably selling out the Garden and you make all that money, but you got to be able to like, you know, and
that's probably why people are doing multiple shows in a row and shit like that.
Big time, man.
Well, that's the thing that like I got like the whole rundown about all that when I started touring, and it was like they say that doing a weekend at a club can be a lot of times more profitable than doing like one theater show.
I would
that,
think
like,
that.
If you can't do 2 theater shows in a night, don't do theaters.
I feel like if you would do like 5 club spots in a weekend, and I understand that's like 5 times the work of one night.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna go somewhere for the weekend, like do it a couple times, and don't pay out the theaters.
Yeah.
Or also, I know this about Dane Cook. Dane Cook revolutionized the game because he was the first dude to rent out the space, and he was like, I won't use your concession and security and all those people. Just give me the space for the night, which costs a fuck ton up front, but then you're making like all profit.
All you, yeah.
And so he kind of changed the game in that regard.
Really
so
fuck you over or anything.
Yeah, right. I mean, but even that, I think he was like, I made that money back like in a year, because he was killing so bad. But like I think we're at a point at Barstool and just the industry in general where it's like, I know you want to play the Wilbur and Radio City and like these places that are iconic. But why don't we just rent out a space and put chairs in and do it all ourselves, and then it can be branded and it get like the fact that comics don't just have a sponsor for their tours is fucking insane.
Yeah,
especially because they all do podcasts and there's ads all over the podcast. Right. There's no preciousness about the art of it.
I think there still is for some reason with the touring, but it's like the fact that it's not just like the Relapse tour from Burt Kreischer presented by AT&T or some shit is fucking nuts.
Yeah, I wonder if it has anything to do with being like, okay, these people are already paying money to come see me.
Who cares?
I don't want to throw.
But it's just like on the fucking stepping review.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's true.
Yeah, if it starts to like take over the show, it
read
sucks.
Ads during the set. All right, guys, 5 seconds.
Right. But like if you're wearing their clothes or you're just drinking their liquor, that would be funny if you just wipe your ass with a dude wipe on stage. Yeah. Now you see if you get
if anyone could do it up,
it would be Bert. It would be Bert.
Wipes for us.
Totally.
Now my ass smells like mint chill.
You get a cool breeze after a dude wipe. Ooh, baby. You're feeling good. You are feeling good.
But it seems like even looking at Sass, like he's not trying to do a special for like 5 years or whatever.
Dude, that's the other thing. I don't know why you guys all feel the need to do a special.
Yeah,
don't do them unless you are.
Wait, but I thought you were about to start putting on specials.
You're right.
People
but I would be like cautious about who we do it with.
There's very few people who are like ready for a special.
Very few.
Even if you have like a good hour, it's like there's a good chance that hour is not all special worthy.
Right. You should do like a 25-minute thing of just your best, or don't even just put things out and don't call it a special. Just be like, here's my YouTube video with some of my comedy. Because when you call it a special, all of a sudden you're getting compared to like Chris Rock on HBO.
Yeah,
it's like, I know I'm not that fucking good, but it's still.
But I see comics and the only thing that they'll put on like their social media, their TikTok, their Instagram is the crowd work that they do. And then it's like, but they'll also go 5 years churning through, probably if they come up with an hour a year and they're honing and honing and honing to get to that special eventually. But that's still like an hour every year that you'll never put out to anywhere.
It's
nuts. I talked about this with someone recently. I think it's like all the algorithm. It's like the algorithm is like crowd work. People will put clips out from like old specials, like right when the clipping thing got big, and it won't be big at all, but then you'll put out
there's something to the vibe of like you're catching something happening.
Yeah,
but it's funny because it's like it's not crowd work when you say to the guy, when you set up your premise with the guy in the audience. When you say like, so do you work like manual labor, and then you have a joke about manual labor. That's not crowd work. That's like you just.
But you're calling out Sass right now.
No, but I agree with you because I posted one stand-up clip and everyone's like, "Wow, Sass is trying to do crowd work." Now I'm like, no, it's not fucking crowd work.
It's just a joke.
That was the build up. Like I was building up the joke and getting the audience engaged.
Yeah, I actually think it's fine to do it. It's funny when everybody acts like this is
crowd work.
It's like you did that bit in every fucking city with a different guy.
Yeah. You might as well have a plant.
I also feel like you don't even need a plant. I think. Has anybody ever just like made up a audience member?
No, I don't think so. I think you could get away with about that, and I think you could.
Look at this goofy motherfucker with the glass.
Yeah. Yes, you could 100% create a fictional person. Totally, no one would know.
And especially when you got to repeat what they said to you.
Yeah.
You could just say that. You could be like, look at this fat motherfucker here, and there's no fat motherfucker there. But and the people who sit in the front might be like.
It might be hard to do a
couple black ladies tonight.
Yeah. If you did it in like a theater, no one would ever know.
Or arena or anything big like that. We had a moment on the road. I was like, we always kind of poll the crowd. We got young people, old people. We have diehard Barstool fans. We have any new fans. We have any couples. We always have a lot of couples. It's a big date night thing for us. And for the first time, I was like, because I wanted to do a bit about being divorced. I was like, do we have any divorced people in the crowd? And it was pure, true crowd work. There's one guy who was sitting front row, and he was like, me, and you could tell he was bent out of shape about it. It was like I was coming from a place of like, fuck it, it's good, you're free.
Yeah.
And then he was very like timid, and then you said something like at the end of the show. I would have if I was in the audience, I would have bet it was a planted callback scripted thing where you said something about like being desperate for a girl and you were like, yeah, this guy knows, right? And it just fucking murdered. And it was like, I was like,
where was it?
I don't remember which one it was because I'm terrible. When I'm doing the show, I don't even look at the crowd. I'm like nervous and I'm looking at the lights. And you're always, I feel like, very good at like, you do notice the crowd. And
that's just because I saw a hot girl one time.
Always
I saw chicken cheetah pants at Carolina. I'm always looking for cheetah pants now.
But you brought it back to that guy, and I was like, oh, what a fucking moment. It just like the puzzle pieces just fit perfectly together. And I was like, that was some real crowd work shit where it all. But I think there's little tricks of the trade that people are like using now, and it's more power to you. But it's like, it's not, I also think some of these guys write so much. Like Sam Morril is so, he's like, I cannot do stale material. So then put it on the fucking internet.
That's what I mean.
And I think he actually does.
His TikTok goes crazy.
Right. So he's actually one who's doing it. But like when we got to our last show in Phoenix, as we walked in, they were getting the bags ready for the phones. And we were like, no. I was like, we tell everybody, post pictures, post videos. Like, we want our shit out there,
Oh, really? They offer you guys the bags?
Yeah, that was great.
You guys are big.
No, that happened. That happened one time only.
They were like, you guys don't want the bags?
Yeah. No, we've never gotten that.
I'm only going to say the N-word a few times. I get it out fast.
And they can't get it. Yeah, they were, because you'll pull it out of nowhere. They won't be ready for it.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. Like if I just like showed up to the stand one night and I was like, where are the bags?
Yeah.
I'm not going up unless there's bags. Like, dude, get the fuck out of here right now.
They say that like people are more present and the experience is better. I'm like, I want that shit. I want the promotion from all these. I want all 500 people here to post my shit on the internet.
Totally. They're sending it to their audience.
No one's on their it's very rare that people are like on their phone during the show.
Yeah, totally.
And
you're like
if they are, they're taking a picture.
Right.
No, and also no one's like, unless you're Dave Chappelle, no one's like, all right, let's film this and send it to the New York Post.
Right. Yeah. Right. And like, there's like maybe one or two segments of show that we do where I'm like, I really hope this doesn't make it to the internet.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm like, post this.
Yeah, there are a few times where everyone be cool about that one.
Yeah, let's leave that one. That stays within these walls right here.
And they know they're not trying to. Your listeners are not trying to cancel you guys.
No.
I really don't think they are.
Especially the people that come are like the diehards of the diehards.
And no one who doesn't know us is coming to a show. Right. It's like if you like look at, remember we show up to like venues sometimes and it's like our fucking stupid picture where it's like this cartoon of like two guys with their legs up. KFC radio tonight. I'm like, no one is walking by that going, I got to see what that's about.
Yeah, we're not getting a walk up,
guys.
We're not getting a walk up crowd the day of.
Yeah.
I will say the best feeling doing stand up is when you get the walk up crowd. It's usually like the Saturday early show. Like all the old people come out and they're there just to see a comedy show. And if you do well in front of them, it's like the greatest feeling ever. Because like these people don't know who I am. They don't care about me.
It's
but
true
like
laughter.
Actually laughing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, there is a feeling of like, I kind of got over the sweating and stuff, not because I think that the show is all that great, but I was like, they're gonna like this, like literally no matter what.
Yeah.
And we've
People
also
have
found
a good time.
we also it's like half. I think half of it is the meet and greet. Like we always make sure to take pictures and meet people, and I think they love that part of it too.
Well,
so
that
it's
was
like
a battle rap trick. I would go and talk to everybody in the crowd.
It's
So by
the
the time
best
it was for me to go up,
they love you.
they had a personal connection with me. And
that's
smart.
If I have a bad set, I'm out there talking to every single person.
Yeah,
being like, dude, I'm so thankful for you guys to come out. I hope you guys had a good time.
You want to do shots? Should we do shots?
Yeah.
And
Let's
if
get
you,
fucked
and
all
if you
over the
kill
bar together.
Sash,
Yeah.
spits on them. I was funny tonight. Get out of here, plebeians.
No, it is
Fucking
like
idiots.
if I do well, I'm like, all right, I did.
You can see why
I paid them
Louis
my
C.K. is like
service.
jerking off.
Oh my god!
At
I mean,
fans
you
after
are
shows.
a god in that moment, especially when you get to the big arenas and shit. Like you have like 20,000, or Kevin Hart has like 60,000 people.
They're just
howling at him, and you're just standing there. You're like literally a god on earth. Like,
We did that we went to this is last year, I guess, the 9/11 party.
Yeah,
I guess at MSG.
yeah. I went to that.
And when Chappelle came out and he just stood there like fucking that Jesus statue in Brazil.
Yeah.
Like he just stood there like this. Like it was actually like, it was honestly for being straight up, it was over. It was too much.
It was too much.
It was like, dude, you're not a god.
Yeah.
Dude, but
like,
But that shows how shitty Elon Musk is. The fact that he went up with Chappelle and he still got booed.
That
He went
was
up
the
with
best.
Jesus on stage.
Dude, it's got to be hard to not become like a full-on narcissist.
yeah,
Absolutely.
like you're not a god, but like people are treating
You
you
have
like one.
everybody telling
what's-
you you're the greatest.
Who's the Roman emperor who had that guy who he hired who
to
just
walk behind him.
walk behind him and just keep whispering, "You're just a man. You're just a man. You're just a man." Like Chappelle needs that now when he
Big
goes
time.
on stage.
Dude, that was
You're
like,
just a trans man. You're just a trans man.
dude, that was like watching 20 of the greatest comedians in the world, and then Dave Chappelle went out, and it was like the biggest eruption I've ever seen. And it was like we just saw
I still
Segura,
think that-
Attell.
I don't think he was the best of the night though.
Oh, not
he
even
wasn't.
remotely
Right,
close.
like-
I wouldn't even put him in the top 10.
Right,
He
right.
sucked
Yeah, he was
that
like
night.
that. Yeah.
He was so fucked up.
Yeah.
Jon
So
Stewart had to drag him off the stage.
He was hammered.
Well, but
drunk.
also, I thought that was unfair of Jon Stewart because, like, the joke he made wasn't that bad. Where it was a 9/11 joke. It was some of Bin Laden, and I honestly forget what it was. I can't even butcher because I forget what it was. But like Jon Stewart came.
He was like, "All right,
all right, Dave, I think that's enough for the night."
Yeah.
But I thought Segura was one of the best of the night. Sam J. Mulaney was awesome.
Segura?
Mulaney was fucking unreal.
I thought Michael Che and Colin Jost were
Very
yeah,
very
dude,
funny.
Colin Jost was. We saw about 69 and his wife.
Yeah.
Yo, you forget
And that
how
was-
many people are stand-ups because
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
I
yeah.
think of that guy as like Weekend
Weekend
Update,
Update.
but it's like no, he's a fucking comic.
And they were two of my favorite of the
They were
night.
so
I was
good.
blown away by how good they were.
When Colin Jost was talking about 69 and his wife, stand up 69 and his wife, and I hit Kevin. I was like, wait, is he married to Scarlett Johansson? That's all I was thinking.
Yeah.
69, he's got his nose in ScarJo's ass.
Yeah.
That's fucking
Fuck him.
crazy.
Yeah.
He's handsome,
Funny.
he's smart. It's like fuck you,
Harvard
dude.
educated.
Dude, the funniest
Yeah.
part of Chappelle's, the only one that I like really laughed out loud was when the guy was filming and
Yeah,
got kicked out. And
he crushed
and he just
that
goes, he's Asian too.
Yeah.
And it was like, holy shit.
Yo, when Segura was on stage talking about jerking off his son.
Yeah.
in the shower.
That was like his closer.
He's telling his son he's got to jerk off.
Yeah. He's like, Dad, why is yours so much bigger than mine?
Right.
He's like, well, because I'm hard.
So fucking funny.
I love Segura too because his bits are like 15 minutes long.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
all
yeah.
stories.
It builds up. And
Yeah.
the payoffs there. It's fucking
It's
incredible.
amazing.
man.
Dude, well,
Yo,
thank you guys.
hang on though.
Before we go,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
you
Whoa,
say.
we're not ready to leave yet.
No, we're getting out of here, bro.
But I
Fuck, it's
just
an hour.
always have to say, like the way we're talking about all these guys is how I think about you with your rap battles. Like you've
Oh, that's
had
hilarious.
those experiences, whether or not you view them that way. Like you, as hard as any comic has ever like killed a comedy club or theater. I think that pales in comparison to like a rap battle.
Oh,
Of, like,
100%.
assassination.
to get
like-
to have the crowd going like, oh,
Yes, like every
that.
punchline of you're basically doing comedy, you know.
Some ways, yeah.
And then, but every punchline gets a reaction like a fucking slam dunk contest. Like
Yeah.
everything is the crowd like physically jumping around and shit.
you only say it one time too, which
Yeah.
is crazy. So there's this like unexpectedness to it. It's like even more living in the moment.
Yeah.
Of just like trying to capture
that
it or whatever.
I can't imagine. Are you ever nervous ever?
What do you mean? When I'm doing those, I am.
No. Just
I feel like the come down from that is be like, there's nothing in the world that
if
would make me
once I
nervous
could
after
do
this.
that, once I can win multiple tournaments at that, I would be like, I'm not afraid of anything ever again.
Definitely not like any type of public speaking.
You're
Like
good
I'll just
with
go
that.
up and
Yeah,
like
you
talk
can just
and like
do
even
that,
if it
yeah.
sucks, like I just
It's
don't
like-
give a fuck.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
when he
so
did
low
when he did the upfronts, he was like, "This is this is the least nervous I've ever been in my
Yeah,
life."
like if I had to do the upfronts, I would have been like nervous about it and been like, fuck, like how's this gonna go? But if I was you, I'd be like, and even if I did bomb, I'd be like, but I know if I put the effort in, I could make the greatest fucking shit like ever because I've done it before in rap battles. So
Exactly.
you know,
It's not like not that I didn't care about the sponsors in the audience.
but you didn't.
And that's that.
all of
And we'll leave it
the
at that.
19-year-old finance dudes
Yeah.
that they send
Dude,
to go
that's
to
the
the
worst
upfronts.
thing with like all Barstool events. Dude, we had it with Whistle Pig we were promoting like we had like a ready to drink can we first did with them before we did a whiskey, and it bombed. It didn't even bomb. It wasn't anything to do with us. It was like they hadn't like factored in like the price of canning or like I forget. It was some
distribution. They couldn't sell it in like 35 states in America. Like, there's only 50, bro.
Yeah. But we went to. They were like, all right, this is gonna be a big thing. Like we've done this with Pink Whitney. This is like how you get people to buy. You go to talk to distributors and all this shit, and you kind of just like basically suck all their dicks.
Of course.
And so we're at this like fucking event in Boston.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
that. And like we're like, all right, we gotta fucking gear up. Like this is how we're gonna get rich, dude. Like we're gonna fucking sell tons of ready to drinks, and we'll go fucking just schmooze everybody right now. And then we get there, and fucking no one was in a position of power. It's like, oh, like, dude, just a big fan. What the fuck are we doing here then?
The minute that someone's like, yo, I've been reading you since 2009, I'm like, get out of here, bro.
Yeah.
Where's your boss?
No, I am the boss.
You mean nothing. Right? That's what we need, though. I do think what is cool is like sometimes you forget, or at least I forget, that I'm comparing myself to some guys who are like 50, 55 years old, who have like 20 years of experience and all that shit on you. And I think we'll also get to a point where stoolies who started reading when they were like 25 will be like 45, 50 years old, and then they become hopefully like the CEOs or the people, the decision makers, and then they're like, yes, for Barstool, like we're not going to worry about the risk. I know I do trust these guys, and hopefully like all of our best days are ahead of us because of shit like that.
All you have to do is literally just keep doing it.
Right, just the longevity.
Just don't stop doing it. As long as like that's really all it comes down to is just don't stop doing it. That's the only way to lose doing any of this shit. It's just really like stopping or like getting in your own head or like spooking yourself out. Just like keep doing it. Put one foot in front of the other. Like you will wind up with that shit.
There was like the beginning. I think I was like, especially writing, I was like, I'm really good at this and I really love doing this. And there was enough praise and I was like, yes, fuck yeah. And then there was like a lull where it was like, this is hard. Life gets hard, personal shit gets hard, and then like you come out of it where you're like, well, if I can keep doing it through that, I can just keep doing it forever. And if I can keep doing it forever, I saw the other day BuzzFeed is down like to like pennies.
Yeah, they're down. They like fired like 90% of their staff.
Really? They're down like 98% over the year. Like they're down to like zero. Kind of yeah, and then and Vice too. So Vice has Vice is like broke, and so is BuzzFeed, and it's like. Those were our, competitors, and it's just like there's none left. Meanwhile,
at a certain point, though, you guys had to have known you guys were going to outlast BuzzFeed.
I don't know.
Honestly,
right now,
early on,
to hear that.
Early on,
I don't think I would have guessed.
I mean, they were fucking massive.
They were valued at $750 million in like 2011,
and they had like an office in LA that was like a studio. It was like the Paramount lot, like the BuzzFeed lot.
I remember hating them.
Times where Dave was like, "We have to be more like BuzzFeed."
Yeah, we started doing top 10 lists,
listicles, and shit like that.
And there still is like tricks of the internet that you have to do that shit, but like it very much turned out.
We call those podcast segments now.
Yeah, basically.
Let's do a draft.
Let's do a draft, but it goes backwards. We're gonna draft 4 things. But we're gonna draft 5 things.
And we did it. We did it for a while.
Once BuzzFeed made that video of like the dude trying fruit for the first time, I was like, yeah, this is not gonna last.
I mean, there's only so many. How many Disney princesses are you? You know, like
remember we did that? We had what Barstool employee are you?
Yeah, we did it all. We did all of the scummy shit you could. But then you also just like keep, we lasted.
You keep on trying it.
Cockroaches, man. We'll be here when the fucking nuclear bombs go off. So.
Dude, well, on that battle rap shit, dude, I think I want to do another one, bro. And I haven't even really talked about it, but I'm trying to battle this dude in February. And this is pretty much me like calling him out. This dude dumbfounded, dude.
Let's go.
Battle against this dude dumbfounded, dude. He's very successful. He's like in movies and shit like that. He's good friends with Anderson .Paak. Like he's this Los Angeles rapper. And there's a event that's a tribute to my buddy Pat Stay, who passed away, and all the proceeds are going to go to his family and shit like that. So it'd be a very good cause for us to do this. Do we do the battle for free? Just go up, like have fun with it, crack some jokes on each other. You know what I mean?
Dumbfounded, make it happen.
That would be fucking
Let's
awesome.
get in the
There
ring,
is
bro.
nothing. I have not seen anything that is as cool as that.
Yes.
I would 100% go to that.
Yeah.
That
You would?
be
Is it in Toronto?
awesome. Yeah.
in Toronto.
That's where like King of the Dot is, right?
Yeah. So it'd be the first event back since COVID and shit like that, because Canada's lockdowns have been crazy. So for a good ass cause, dude, I fucking
dumbfounded. If you don't do it, you're a bad guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. You're really handcuffed the guy here. He could be really busy. He's like, fuck, I gotta do this. If I were you, I think when you first started, you talked about like you wanted to do more. I would be the battle rapper and I would do nothing, I would be insufferable. You wouldn't even be able to have conversations with me. Be like, hey, what's up, man?
Didn't you and Nate rap battle?
Oh my God, that was the worst. That was your fault. because
I loved it, bro.
You loved it. Nobody else in the world did. Because when it originally started, it was I wanted to make another song because I had so much fun making the Tico and Dave song. So I was preparing to make a song, and then Nate was like, I'll just do it like live. And I was kind of like, the thing I was doing was like gonna be a song. And you were like, well, you just got to do it live now. And I was like, fuck. And the last thing I wanted to be doing was live, like reading off a paper, yelling at Nate.
Yeah, I think I might have literally run out of the office.
It was bad. It was tough.
Dude, some of that shit.
It was. You were both so mean.
Oh, yo,
it was so
you know
mean.
what sucked though? I pulled a lot of punches. I was not as mean.
Yeah, he was meaner than you.
And we talked about it. We talked about it first. And I was like, we can do this, but like, there are certain things people can't come back from. And it was kind of like, we're not going to do that. And then he did it. So my advice to anybody is if you're ever going to be in a battle rap, be as mean as you possibly can. And also, if you're ever going to get divorced, be as mean as you can.
He used it as a chance to say the meanest shit. And he was like, that's fine because it rhymes. Like it made it way easier to like just say the mean shit without any nuanced joke, entendre or anything
I mean, there was a lot of things that I was like, if we really want to like break this down, that's not true and that's not real and that was made up or whatever. But yeah, that's not how the game works. So just be as mean as you fucking can, because there was a lot of things that
I liked it. I had fun with it.
Yeah, literally the only person on the planet. Fans hated it. We hated it. Roan was like, "That was great."
I respect the art form, dude. I respect the art form. You guys at least stepped into the arena, and
that is true.
Did it.
It takes balls to embarrass yourself as badly as we did.
No one else who's talking shit would fucking do anything like that.
And
maybe they're smart for that. Honestly,
yeah, honestly,
that's a good decision by them.
For real.
Fuck yeah, dude. Well, now we can end it, but I really appreciate you guys coming on.
Thank you guys.
It's great to hear about the fucking New York shit. The fucking.
I mean, I hope you guys are pumped for it. I think you guys will be a big part of it.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
We can make a lot of shit happen here.
Fuck yeah, appreciate you guys.
Cool. Thanks, boys.